I'm gonna now go over number 4. The fun difference quotient problem and simplifying, find the limit as h approaches 0. So I know you're okay with B, using the power rule or quotient rule, but maybe part A, that's something that we did in the very beginning of the semester in classroom. So let's find f prime of x by the limit definition as limit as h approaches 0, all the difference quotient f of x plus h minus f of x, all divided by h. So what you will have to do is simplify this difference quotient as far as you can, and then we're going to plug in 0. We're going to just let h be 0 and simplify. Okay, so what is f of x? F of x is 6 divided by x, and f prime, I'm sorry, not f prime, but f of x plus h, that's another puzzle piece that we need, is simply 6 divided by what? X plus h. So what we will need to do is we will need to subtract these two, subtract them and put that as a numerator, and then divide it by h, right? So the numerator piece is going to be a little more, it's just algebra. Let's go ahead and take care of this. So this equals limit as h approaches 0 of 6 over x plus h minus 6 over x. And then I'll divide these by h. But how about, because this is going to look nasty with fraction over a fraction, how about I evaluate, or I simplify this and just multiply this by what? 1 over h. That's the same thing as dividing by h, right? So I'll do that so that I don't have a fraction over a fraction. So let's take care of that now. Limit as, and keep on writing this limit notation because you didn't evaluate any limit yet until we simplify it. Now let's go ahead and come up with the common denominator. The common denominator can be x times x plus h for both of these. Well, for them. So the numerator used to be just 6, but now it's 6x. The other numerator used to be just 6, but now that is going to be 6 times x plus h. It's just some fraction skills that we use, and don't forget about that multiplying by 1 over h later. All right, let's go ahead and put the numerators together. 6x minus 6 times 6x minus 6 times x plus h is getting divided by x times x plus h. And this 1 over h patiently still waiting out there. Okay, let's simplify the numerator. 6x minus, now be careful, we're distributing negative 6. 6x minus 6h, right? All over x times x plus h times 1 over h. We're almost done. Equals, and then you need to show me every step on this exam because I have to be very picky about what I want, and I want like every step. Okay, so please show me every step when you're doing this exam. As you can see, the 6x and negative 6x cancels out. We are left with negative 6h divided by x times x plus h times 1 over h. So now I can go ahead and cancel out that h with that h. So here's the simplified difference quotient. Negative 6 over x times x plus h. Now we're ready to plug in what? We're ready to plug in h equals 0. So what's that going to be? Negative 6 over x times x plus 0. That's negative 6 over x times x, which is negative 6 over x squared. And that is our, oopsies, that is our f prime of x. We found it. Using the limit definition, right? Something that we did in unit 1. Now let me do a, let me go ahead and just, since I'm recording, let me go over B. F of x using either the quotient rule or power rule. So this work will be much shorter. I'll do the quotient rule first. f of x equals 6 over x, where, well, again, I called it f, but quotient rule is when you have a quotient of two functions, and then you'll have g squared in the denominator and gf prime minus fg prime, and that is how you find the derivative, right? So let me do that. That's going to be, well, just without labeling, I'll just go ahead and find f prime. F prime is going to be x squared, denominator squared, times g times what? F prime. But f prime is 0, right? The numerator, if you take the derivative of a constant 6, that's just going to come out 0, minus f, which is the numerator, times the derivative of the denominator, which is just going to be 1. So f prime of x using quotient rule will be negative 6 over x squared, and this perfectly matches what we got using the limit definition. But I really like what? Rewriting it. I'd rather use the power rule. No, oopsies. Power rule. Because how easy it is to rewrite this f of x. Instead of 6 over x, I can rewrite this as 6 times x to the negative first power. So f prime of x is going to be negative 6 times x to the negative second power, which can be rewritten as what? Negative 6 over x to the positive second power in the denominator, x squared in the denominator. So use 3 method. First using the limit definition, which was the longest, but you will need to show me your difference quotient work. Part B, I used the quotient rule first, and I also used the power rule by rewriting the function, and all 3 came out to be the same. So when they say compare your answers to part A and B, they're the same. And part D, find the equation of the tangent line at x equals 3. All right, let's do D. How can I do it? Maybe if I minimize this work a little bit, I may be able to squeeze that in on the same page. I'll do that. Part D. And you know, I skipped C because they are the same. Now here's part D in a black pen. Equation of the tangent line at x equals what number? I forgot. X equals 3. Okay. So if x is 3, what is y? Y is f of 3, right? That's going to be 6 divided by 3. So y is 2. So I know what my x is. I know what my y is. I just need to figure out the slope. M is... the slope is going to be the value that we get when we plug in x equals 3 into the derivative function. And the derivative function was what? F prime of x was... I forgot. Oh, it's right there. Negative 6 divided by x squared. So, negative 6 divided by 3 squared. That gives me negative 6 divided by 9, negative 2/3. So, let's do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, point slope form, so that I can do y minus 2 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 3. I guess I can leave it like this, but did I say any form? Yeah. So it says no form required. If you just want to leave it in point slope form, this is perfectly fine. But I know some of us love slope intercept form, so we can go ahead and do that. I can distribute this negative 2/3, and I will get this. And then I can add 2 to both sides. I'll get y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 4. So both answers are fine. If you want to leave your answer in point slope form, point slope form, that's okay. If you feel comfortable with slope intercept form, both are fine, okay? But I think the answer key I have listed negative 2 over 3x plus 4. Let me just double check. I think I typed the answer as a slope intercept form. Where are you? Oh, what number was it? Number 4, right? Yeah, looks like I used a slope intercept form. But on the exam, if you want to just leave it in, what? Point slope form, that should be okay. So that was number 4. You know, I'm only going over the ones that you are asking me about. And only a couple of people are emailing me about what they need to see. So continue doing that for me. I know I'm planning on sending out your exam 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So we need to finish the review before then. Okay? All right.